Now on YouTube, welcome to what is going to be no doubt an exciting video. So my job for today is to compression test the M3 to find out whether the head gasket's split or not. Now if you're not aware of the E46 M3 or the S54 head gasket issue, then I don't know, probably don't look into it in that case. But if you are thinking about buying one or you own one and you don't know about this issue, then you might want to listen and watch and see what happens. So my M3 is just about 18 years old. It's done 118,000 miles and I've got no symptoms really of the head gasket issue. So when I say a head gasket issue, it's not like the traditional coolant loss head gasket issue. The head gasket actually breaks between the cylinder walls, and it's traditionally between either 5 and 6 or 4, 5 and 6 if it's really bad. There's not actually that much material on the head gasket between the cylinder walls. So there's a few theories as to why that eventually breaks down and fails. Things like poor fuel and not the best maintenance. There's a lot of rumours about what causes this and whether it's an actual issue or not. BMW never really took that much note of it. There's a lot of people out there with S54s and Z4s as well who've experienced this, and yeah, it just seems like a common fault of the S54. So I've owned my car 3 years now and I've never compression tested it. I was warned by everyone that I trust before buying an M3, make sure you compression test it. Now I never did, and I've owned the car 3 years now and I've not had any issues. You sometimes get a bit of pinking and you can tell something's not quite right. Sometimes people get a misfire when it's cold. I do have that. I do have a slight misfire when it's cold. That's what's got me thinking slightly. I mean, that could just be a coil pack or spark plug. So, there's not necessarily meaning that a misfire when it's cold would mean that it's a head gasket, but I'm going to check it. Now, the reason I'm going to check it is because I'm taking the car to RD Motorsport in Edinburgh in a couple of weeks to get the rod bearings done and a couple of other little jobs. And what Rob said to me at RD is one of the first things that we'll need to do is to compression test it, just to find out where the engine is, find out the health of the engine. It's never been done. So what I said to Rob was, before we get to Edinburgh, I'll do it before I go up. So that's what we're doing today. Now I've managed to borrow a compression tester off Ed. I'm not sure what it is, but now this compression tester might not be the most accurate one in the world, but we're just looking for the same numbers roughly across all 6. That's the goal. That's what we're hoping to see. Now what we might see is 1, 2, 3 and 4 being fine and 5 and 6 being slightly down. So that would indicate the early failing of the head gasket. It might be the time to get it done straight. Well, obviously if it's going to be down in compression anywhere, we know it definitely needs a head gasket, but we won't know until we test it. So that's going to be my day. Now I've watched a couple of videos online on how to do this, on tips and things. Now engine needs to be warm, all the plugs need to be out, and a lot of people say take the fuel pump relay out as well, although Rob said not to bother, but it depends how long we're cranking for. So in order to get to all 6 cylinders, we need to remove this section, which pretty much just slips off if I remember rightly. Looks pretty loose, doesn't it? Because we can only just about see the first 4 cylinders here. So we'll get this brace off, get the top cover off, get this away, and then we should be able to see the coil packs. We'll get the coil packs off, get the spark plugs out, and then we'll go in with the compression tester and start seeing what she's saying. Sound good? Yep. Right, that's all the plugs out, so it's time to start compression testing. Although let's have a quick look at the plugs first, because I've never seen these plugs before. So yeah, the coil packs, this is coil pack 6. For some reason looks a bit different. I'm not sure if it's because of a different manufacturer. That's a Bosch one. What are these? Can't see it. It's like VMQ. Oh, these have all got BMW part numbers on. So the first 5 have got BMW part numbers on, but this one's a Bosch, and it still has a part number on it. But yeah, this isn't. So that's why the colour difference there. So I had one replacement coil pack, but not the rest. And the spark plugs. So these are Bosch Super, just Bosch Super. R6. And yeah, I've never seen these spark plugs before, which is yeah, something new. Now the plugs, the colour of the plugs at least, is all pretty much the same. Even 6, it's looking pretty much the same. So no obvious signs that something is broken in there. These do need changing. I've never actually changed these. Had the car for years, 5k or so. But it's coming up for its inspection too, so you know, all this stuff needs to get changed and not get its valve clearances stuff done. That's all part of the work that's going to happen at RD Motorsport. So the work that we're doing now obviously is just to see if we need a head gasket as well. So, as I said, my friend lent me this. So we'll need to set this up, get the right fitment for these plugs, which should probably be a little trial and error. Yeah, I'm going to set this up and then we'll start on cylinder 1, work his way down to the danger zone here. Right, I've got the tool set up, so it's time to go. I'll put the camera somewhere nice where you can see it, give it a few cranks, and then we'll see what cylinder 1's saying. Cylinder 1, what say you? Right, cylinder 2. Cylinder 3. About the same. Cylinder 4. I always thought these things were meant to just stay at the maximum, but this one's jumping about all over the shop. I was watching it that time. I wasn't able to watch it when we did cylinders 1, 2 and 3, but from this angle I can see it. And it was jumping up all over the shop round here, wasn't it? Right, we're on to cylinder 5 now. So 5 and 6 are the problem 2 usually. So if this is way down on 150, whatever that the first 4 were with this gauge, then we'll know we've got a problem. Interesting. 165. So it didn't jump about as much on that one either, did it? It stayed pretty consistent with where it started. Right, we're on to the 6th and final cylinder now. Well, that's slightly relieving. See, all the numbers are still slightly lower than what I thought they would be. But it might just be this gauge, eh? I don't know where I'd got it from. And the box looks a bit suspect. But yeah, let me just tinkle that again. Was it jumping around? I couldn't quite see it this time. As it's number 6 and it's the problem child, I'll give it one more go. Yeah, it is jumping about a bit again, isn't it? But it's definitely high, or it's certainly at least equivalent to the other 6, so that's nice. I'm going to do cylinder 1 again, because for some reason that's the lowest so far we've had, but it might have just been the gauge jumping about, because I couldn't quite see it when it was over there. So yeah, really happy with that. Happy that 5 and 6 are at least the same as the rest. Only concerning one is cylinder 1, but that might have been because this weren't quite tight. But we'll try it again and see what that comes back with. Record this as, what, 100 and... Oh, can I get away with that? We'll go 164 just to keep people happy. Right, we're going to test cylinder 1 again, just for the crack, because like I say, I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be... I don't see any reason why 1 would be down on the rest, but let's just check it again and make sure it wasn't just the gauge. I could see it jumping about. You just keep trying it until you get the result that you want. seems pretty happy where it is. What's it on? Oh yeah, that's a bit better. Is that 162? I'll go 162. Right, I've completed my test. Now I didn't say this at the start, but I've only ever compression tested one car before, and it was the Integra when it was B18, just to make sure the engine was still healthy. And B18 was quite a bit higher on the old PSI, but this engine's warm. I think the Integra was cold, and I'm not even sure if I stuck plugs out or not, but I've tried to follow the proper procedure on this one, which I read online, so it might not even be that proper, but plugs are out, oil's warm. I took the fuel pump fuse out as well, just to be double sure, I guess. And the numbers that I've got are quite even. So I did redo number one, because that originally did read 150, but I wasn't too sure if it was just the gauge being a bit crap. It seemed to jump about quite a lot when I was recording, or trying to record the numbers. So there was a bit of me cranking the car again to try and get a better number. There was a bit of that going on, but you know, it's my car in it, so I'm going to try and make it a bit better. But if the head gasket was gone, or if there was a break between the cylinder walls, we would see something here. Well, somewhat of a, I don't know if you're going to be disappointed, but there's going to be some people out there disappointed that it doesn't need a head gasket, aren't you? I know you are, but overall I'm pretty happy. I wish that I got some plugs perhaps to change these at the same time. I did try and get some this morning, but Sunday morning I was wasting my time, wasn't I? So, but you know, these can all get changed when the valve clearance and stuff get done when it goes to RD. So we've still been a successful day. I'm gonna put the car back together now, and yeah, I'm probably gonna do something else, so we'll find something else to do. But happy days, the M3 is not knackered, or not completely knackered. Hey, thanks. Right, we're all done on the M3 then. I've just put it back together, everything's back on. Not started it up yet, but I'm sure it'll start. Yeah. I've only just put the fuel pump fuse back in, so see how long it takes to start. We'll give it 3 primes, 3 ignition primes, yeah? Let's try and be fair. That's 2. So it's been cranking with no fuel for a bit, yeah? 3 primes, is it going to start straight away? Baby. Of course it was. Of course it was. So yeah, that's all from the M3. I was thinking about maybe doing something else, but there's not a lot really left to do now. I did that diff bush yesterday. Now there is one thing that I'm going to do this afternoon, and I might, since all this video has been a bit short, we may as well just carry on. I got one of these for the MR2 headlights. It's a 3M headlight restoration kit. Now I've been polishing headlights for a while now, before these kits were really a thing, you know, the kits that you put a drill on, or you apply all this shit with a drill, all the sanding and the buffing and everything. So yeah, I've always done it with actually a mop and some sandpaper before. I've never bought a purpose put together, what's the word? It's a kit, and I saw someone using this, specifically this 3M kit, Project Farm I think it was, that American guy who does all of the daft stuff, and it came out pretty well. It's about 20 quid or something off Amazon, so we'll give that a go on the MR2, because the MR2 lenses are proper cloudy. So let me tidy this up, give my hands a quick wash, have some lunch, and then we'll get on with the MR2. Well, I completely forgot to tell you that the Audi's gone. I'm sure you can probably work it out for yourself. There's a massive hole in the unit where something used to be, right? So yeah, the Audi's gone. It went this morning, actually. So I've had loads of messages off people on Instagram. I advertised it on my Instagram somewhat, and I had loads of people interested. Not that many people actually wanting to buy it, but this one guy did want to buy it, Dominic from Great Yarmouth, which is somewhere I used to go on holiday when I was very young with my mum and Nana. Yeah, long time ago. I've not been to Great Yarmouth for a long time, but that's where Sam the man lives, so you know, probably in good company. I hope I'm down to just having 2 cars up here now. What's that all about? I'm going to move the MR2 across, turn it round, and we'll get on with the headlights. But goodbye, good car too. It's gone. I don't think I'll have another one either. I think I'm done now with that generation of Audi and all that. I had my time. Probably done about 50,000-60,000 miles in those cars overall together. So, you know, I've had my good innings. It was a good laugh while it lasted. But varying boys from now on, I think. Even though it's more expensive for everything, and the fuel economy is way worse. But oh well. Right, so I'll get this turned around and we'll get started. What we got? I've actually got two things to do on the MR2 today. So we'll do the headlights first, but then I've got one of these suckers to install. This is a transponder, and it's the new style of transponder. Anyone that's raced kind of before the past few years will know all about this. So transponders just used to be something that you'd buy and put on your car, and then the circuit would, you know, pick it up when you go around. But it's all changed now, and the transponders that you get now there's some, you know, there's some added benefits to it, you could say, or there's some extra stuff that you do get for the money, but all the transponders are on subscription services now, you know, as the rest of the world is gradually coming towards. So yeah, the transponders are on a subscription as well. So I've had to pay for 2 years subscription to this transponder service, and you get like some lap time and some analytics. You get some of that as well, but yeah, and the actual physical units now, the actual transponders that, you know, you don't need subscriptions for, the price have just gone nuts on. They're about £400 or £500, and it's just another thing that you need if you want to race. So yeah, we'll get that on. I think the 2 year subscription was about £200, including the kit. So okay, it is what it is. I had to get it. So yeah, we'll have to fit that today as well, because I keep forgetting. But we'll do the headlights first. I'll get turned around. Right then, Mr. 2. So, the Milano Red respray, that was done a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it really highlighted how poor the headlights were. Now, we did polish them, so they did get a polish, which did improve the lenses, but they weren't sanded beforehand. So I think we can still get these headlights quite a bit clearer, or I'm hoping so. So I had a look at the damage, and it does all seem to be mostly on the outside. A couple of marks here, which we probably won't get rid of, but just for the practice of getting the lens a bit clearer, I think we should be all right. Now my spare headlights, that's the blue one, they're a little bit cloudier, but they've also got some marks on it, which looks, see those marks there? Kind of looks like it's been done before at some point. Quite a lot of these kits tend to come with like an after wipe, which would be like a UV protection, so it doesn't haze over again. Now most of the kits seem to come with that, but for some reason the 3M one doesn't. But you know, I know that everything else in that 3M kit's meant to be all right, the sandpaper and everything else meant to be all right. So this car won't really get left out in sunlight that often anyway, even if we do get any sunlight, you know. So I'm not that worried about it, but if it was a car I was using every day on the road and was parking outside and things like that, then I'd be more worried about getting that protection back on. But just for now, let's see how clear we can get the lenses. Right, I've decided we're going to do one headlight first. We'll do it all the way from the sand into the polishing, everything in this kit, and then we'll compare directly side by side. So the headlights were, you know, loosely the same. They're probably not the original ones, because we think this car was in a bit of a bump at some point, so they might not match completely, but you know, just on the eye, they look pretty similar. They're both pretty clouded, right? So yeah, let's go through with this. So just had a look at this kit, and in the instruction it tells you what it comes with. So 6 500s, 4 800s, only one 3000, only one finisher, and then you get this this polishing pad. You got some rubbing compounds. I mean, you know, it's a kit, isn't it? So it comes with everything. So yeah, we'll start on the 500. Obviously, that's the most, the biggest bastard. That's the pad to put into the drill. 500, yeah, let's get started. Right, so that's the first pass with the 500 grit. Just about used up one of the pads. So we got, I can't remember if it's 6 or 8 of those that we got. But yeah, I've never done this with a drill before. This was all my excitement about buying this, or buying one of these kits, just so I could get this attachment with the drill and have a go. Because I've done this before with the headlights, but I've always hand sanded and then I've used a buffer to clean up afterwards, but you know, the sanding element of it was never that good, and I totally ruined some headlights for the DC2. Might be the right hand side one there. Can you see how it's cloudy? Because I started my sanding at like 240 grit or something. So I mean, apparently it's savable by doing the same again, or maybe just having a drill and not doing it all by hand. I might be able to save it, but yeah, so far so good with this. Now my drill, I can't fix the speed, so I'm just going by the trigger, and I'm just going relatively slowly. I don't know if that second mode actually is a bit slower. Yeah, that's a bit slow. You'll have more of an idea of how it actually looks after that first pass now. wipe the dust off it before I go at it again. So, pretty cloudy, eh? But it's even, which is nice. Have I missed any bits? No, looking good. This is how it looks after the 800 grit. Getting a bit cloudier. What's going on here? Right, that's the 3000 grit done. So just to polish it now. See if we can get all these little scratches out. Right, believe it or not, I've just finished the second polish. And so I did the first polish and then the headlight still looked very cloudy, so I thought, hey, I best polish that again. But I'm not that impressed, to be honest, because the lens still has loads of tiny little scratches in it. And when you come back and compare the left to the right, I mean, it definitely looks different. It's kind of lost the yellow tint somewhat, but still very cloudy, whereas this is, you know, it's cloudy and a bit yellow. Can you see what I mean? Like the yellow's gone from it slightly. But it's not clear at all, is it? And there's still, when you get up close, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there's still loads of tiny, tiny little scratches in the lens. So let's think about what this kit was supposed to do, yeah? We started with a 500 grit and then went to an 800 grit. Come on, focus. Can't even focus on it now, look. So you're getting the scratches. The scratches are quite savage to start with, then to 800. Now from 800 to 300 seems like a huge leap to me, but trusting 3M, I've just got tons of tiny little scratches still. That's why the headlight looks so cloudy. Some of them, there's some really big ones in the side of it. If you can see them. Yeah, you can see them, look. Some really big scratches in the side of it. So, yeah, not that impressed at all, really. Thought by buying the kit, because obviously I've done this before myself by hand sanding it and then using a rotary polisher, and I've had better results than that. So perhaps I went too savage on one of the steps or something, I'm not even sure, but I'm going to call that a complete failure and an unrecommend. I does not recommend it. Just stick to buying your own sandpaper and getting some rubbing compound like the old days, because this kit doesn't seem very good, and this is apparently the best kit. Yeah, fucking shite, good. If you know immediately what I've done wrong here, then let me know, I'm sure you can. Is it because I didn't use the 3M tape and I used my own blue detailing gazza? Is that the problem, eh? I'm not sure, but I'm glad I didn't do them both at once, because, well, I guess they both look the same then, but at least we know that it actually doesn't work that well. Or perhaps it's picnic, problem in chair. I know we're not even in computers, are we? But perhaps it was my fault. But if you know what I've done wrong, let me know. But to me, that's just a crappy kit. I mean, the sandpaper and everything was real good, but it just, nah, I was expecting better. And of course, this is something, you know, that I've done before. I've got experience doing this, so really that should have been a doddle, but it wasn't. So never mind. We'll forget about that for now, because that's not going to win us races anyway. This is going to win us races, perhaps, or certainly record our lap time. So I need to fit this somewhere. Now it needs to be able to see the ground, apparently, which is a bit strange. Yeah, don't worry about that. So I saw someone with a Mark III who runs in the championship as well, who fitted his just down here somewhere. So you can see the floor obviously on this side, and then you can just route the power cables and stuff back inside the car. So yeah, that's probably where I'm going to put it, but let's have a look first. So first of all, you can't mount it any higher than 2 foot. Second of all, it needs to be able to see the ground. Now I need to measure this if this is greater than 2 foot, because if not, I'd like to mount it there, because that'd be quite nice. But we'll measure that, because it might be more than 2 feet. So let me check. Bugger, it's just greater than 2 feet. So unless we're going to lower the car by 40 mil, which we're not going to do, to find somewhere a little bit lower than that. I managed to find this little bit of scrap plate that I'm going to use to mount it on. So we'll mount the X2 to this, and then we'll mount this to somewhere on the car. So my idea was to mount it there, because I thought that'd be nice. A nice clean place, but it would appear that it's too high, so maybe we'll go down here instead. You can just about see the floor there, can't it?
So I've got the direct power one because there's a couple you can get. You can get, like, this is a rechargeable unit, so you can actually get it to just run off the batteries. Okay, that seems like a good spot, so let's go with that. What should we mount? Should we mount this to the car first? Or the exterior to this? I don't know. Alright, I've got a bit of a handle on this transponder installed now. So I've got the transponder itself mounted just there next to the brown stuff. So I just riveted that plate to the chassis leg and then cable tied the mount itself. I did drill out some holes thinking I was going to nut and bolt it to it because it comes with some little fitting kits which would make you think you're going to do that, but unless you've got some 4mm M4 bolts, then you are definitely not going to be doing that, and you're going to be cable tying it the same as me. I don't have any bolts that small. I thought I'd be able to get some M6s through it, but the holes on the transponder itself aren't large enough, but it's pretty sturdy on the cable tie. And yeah, it should you know, remove some of the vibrations at least from the chassis leg, but I mean the engine's at the back anyway, don't forget, so vibrations wise it should be okay. So got a wire coming out of there going into the cabin. Now I'm just looking at giving it power because I got the direct power thing, as I said, so that sits there with the race key in it, and then you've got this 4-core cable which I've got rid of the redundant 2 cables, the black and white cable that are redundant, and then you've got this brown and blue. The brown's the live wire and the blue's the earth apparently. So yeah, that just plugs into the back of the race key. Once we've got it spliced in, I'm just going to go, Christ, the torch behind there is not a good idea, but yeah, I'm just going to tap into some of the wiring that I robbed for the switches. Just going to tap into that just for a 12 volt and an earth, and yeah, that should be sweet. That should be all it needs. So yeah, I'm just going to solder in. You see that pink wire there? I've already split that across, and then there's some earth just at the top, so I'll tap into the earth as well and then just plug it back in there and tidy the wiring up a little bit, and that should be good. Right, I've done it. So I'm happy enough with it. So my transponder's down there, that wire goes in there as we know, and that comes in here into a lovely little cable tie, very nice, and then that runs into here. So that's the power outlet to the transponder, and then the power in, as I say, I've just tapped into the back of here. And I did solder it, but because I've, you know, borrowed a wire, I just had to tape over it, but it's sticking all right. So the power's on, but the ignition's not on. And this is exactly what we wanted to happen. Where the fuck's the barrel? That's there. There we go. So it comes on the first ignition, which is nice. It's accessory. It's my race car accessory pack. So yeah, that's doing stuff. It's going to go red because I've not registered it yet, but I'll have to sort that out in due course. Oh wait a minute, I've plugged it into the wrong one. Ah, you fool. You fool, I've plugged it into the wrong one. Alright, I've plugged it into the right one now. And yeah, it seems happy enough. Sweet. Now, should we have another go at this before we go? I think we should. Let's do it. Now I got this headlight up to what is technically the second stage for the 3M stuff. So 3M 500, then 800. I've just been and got some 1200. Well, I found some 1200, and I'm just giving it some sand by hand at the minute. Now all the sanding that I'm doing now is going to be in straight lines rather than all the circles that were from the drill. So hopefully I'll be able to see whether or not this is doing anything by the fact of whether or not we'll still be able to see circles underneath. If you get close now, you can see a lot of straight lines, right? That's good, because there were a lot of circles there before, and I'm not convinced if going straight from the 800 to the 3000 was that good. But what I'll do instead is go 1200, and I've got some 2000 or some 2500 or something like that, and then I will finish with the drill with the 3000 as per 3M. But yeah, I'm just doing a couple of sands in between to see if I can get those scratches out. Yeah, I just finished a 2000 hand sand. Now I'm going to go to the 3000 from the 3M kit. The free bit of compound that you get comes in a packet which is not resealable, so Yeah, we might have to use all that today. And you can see it's already spaffed all over. Right, onto the drill now. Right, this is after the 3000 grit. So it's looking quite similar to what it did before. Now, hang on, let me turn the torch on. So a lot of my straight scratches seem to have gone, and hopefully that means they've been replaced with these 3000 ones that we can just about make out. So now last stage is to do the compound, so hopefully we'll have a better result this time. Alright, I think I'm getting somewhere with that now. Although, you know, we've had to step outside of the 3M instructions slightly, but I think the end result's slightly better. There might have been some other variables that might have caused this result. Polish all over me, because that compound's going to go out, so I just thought I'd send it all on this headlight, all the polish. Of course, too much polish in a buffing pan sends it everywhere, so yeah, the inside of the car's looking pretty polished now. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll pull this off, and then we'll have a comparison. So I'll put the picture on from earlier, side by side. Does it look any better? You fucking hope so, won't you? Oh. Yeah, I'm not convinced either. I reckon we could have spent this time a bit better, but at least we had a go. Hey. So yeah, I guess the end result's the same. It looks the same to me after this time as it did from on the first time, even with the extra sanding. So the headlight doesn't look like terribly cloudy, but it just doesn't look right, does it? It looks a bit misty. Whereas the one on the passenger side, that just looks a bit yellow. But if we look at this one again, from the blue MR2, so, I mean, it's clearer. I can see how they can sell this kit as a headlight restoration kit, because it does look clearer, but it seems to just take the yellow out of it, which is perhaps the UV staining, right? But we're left with loads of tiny scratches, even with the polishing. I mean, you can very, very faint scratches. I did want to try polishing it with my rotary polisher, but I've not used it for that long. I don't know where any of the pads are, so yeah, I'd use the drill as part of the kit, but yeah. I think for the other side, I might do it manually if I can find some heads, or get some pads ordered to some cutting compound and stuff. But that looks fine, doesn't it? We'll have to touch that. Yep, that's a headlight as well. Right, good. The race car's got headlights. That's all we need to worry about. That's enough. And on that note, it's time to end. Hope you've enjoyed watching. The M3 doesn't need a head gasket. Yeah. And the MR2 still got headlights and now has a transponder, so can record all my PBs and DNFs. Yeah, all that shit. Right, so if you enjoyed watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully I have some harnesses. We've got some 6-point harnesses on the way for this. I don't know. Integra video soon though. Yeah? Anybody? Nobody's bothered about the Integra, that's why I don't make any videos on it. If only people were more bothered about it. Oh well, never mind. Alright, see you later.